Welcome to the Effects Loop. I'm Scott.
I'm Chris.
And I'm Diaz.
And we're keeping you in the loop of the guitar community. We don't have an official sponsor for this week, but we decided that in the spirit of giving that we are going to give away the sponsor spot today to Sinusoid's Giving Cable. After the hurricanes hit the panhandle of Florida, they have set out to create an opportunity for their work to be given and provide an opportunity to give to those affected by that hurricane. It's a high-quality cable. I believe it's Van Dam cable into Neutrik plugs. Standard length is 10 feet, but I think they also allow you to change what type of length you get. And then all proceeds, and that includes labor time, all those kind of things. So literally the only thing they're taking is the cost of materials. All the proceeds go to is it American Red Cross, guys?
I don't remember. Hold on. I can tell you if you give me like 38 seconds.
1, 2.
It is the Northwest chapter of the American Red Cross.
All right. I remember that correctly. Yeah, check them out at sinusoid.com/give. We'll take you to there. And also, if you're just like, I don't need a cable, but I still want to give, there's a link at that link to where you can just donate money straight to the American Red Cross. So it's worth doing. I encourage everybody. I've already bought one of the cables. Diaz is doing his own fundraiser for Florida.
Yeah, we talked about that last week.
Yeah.
It's still for sale. I've got a Boss PH2, $70. That's shipped. I'm covering shipping and the fees, and all $70 will go to the Sinusoid giving. I'm not getting a cable or anything. I'm just going to give them the money. So
yeah, encourage everybody. Let's support our friends and family that are down there and help them rebuild after, frankly, something terrible happened. And that brings us into what's new.
Dang, that was like really serious into the what's new, though.
I know, somber.
Like, dang.
Guys, we'll stop being professional and serious here soon. Don't worry.
Okay, because I've still got to mention Justin True Daddy. So
I thought you weren't allowed to.
No, those are the 5 things I have to mention. See, but I just got away with it. By saying it like that, I got away with one of them. And he's the prime minister, I think, from Canada, isn't he?
Sure.
This bit is so dumb.
It is really dumb, but I said that I'd do it, so I got to do it.
Why didn't somebody dare you to see how many times you could say meow?
I don't know. We can do that next week.
Yeah, I mean, meow did not happen.
Yeah.
For real.
Meow,
anyway.
listen here.
Did I tell you guys? Oh, I watched Super Troopers 2 on the plane last week. That movie's so bad.
Hey, listen. I haven't seen it yet. Don't no giveaways.
There is 5 minutes of the movie that make sitting through the other hour and a half worth it. But if you can just find a YouTube clip of those 5 minutes, that's the best part of the movie.
Oh my gosh.
Anyway, that brings us to what's new. Chris, what's new with you?
Nothing as far as I can remember. I don't think I got anything this week.
Man.
Oh, it's slow around here.
All right, Diaz, what's new with you then?
Oh man, I got this nifty little mic stand for my desk. Little tripod. It was like $8. That's that. Oh, I picked up some music today. So there's a place called AmVets local that's kind of like Goodwill. It's like veteran stuff. And man, they had crazy amounts of cassette tapes and CDs, and I do still listen to cassette tapes. I think I kind of threw Scott off. And I
mean, you're just so hip.
See, it's not even that. It's that I'm just getting older, and I'm just like, you know what? I don't even care how I listen to music anymore. I got Blues Brothers 2000, the soundtrack, on cassette I got another one. I can't remember what it was. But then I got Sheena Easton, her debut album. Because that's one of my like weird things. Like one of my favorite songs of all time is Morning Train 9 to 5. Like I don't know why I love that song so much, but if that song comes on, you better believe I'm dancing and singing to it. And then I got John Mayer, Room for Squares, and I got Dave Matthews Band, Crash. I spent like $2.50 on all that, so that was pretty nice.
That's a sweet deal. I remember when I was in high school, there was a place by me that would do used CDs for like $2.
Mm-hmm.
And I would just load up. Like I'd go there like every week and just see what they got.
Well, it's weird because I'm looking at these cassette tapes and I'm like, man, I remember these, like picking these up. I remember when that was it. And like to buy a CD was like the giant plastic thing that made no sense why it was so huge.
Oh, so you couldn't like stick it in your coat. And
but
like
people still
steal.
stole them. I mean, I don't know. They're still kind of huge. But yeah, that's pretty much all that's been new with me this week. I feel like I did something, but I can't remember.
You were on vacation.
I was on vacation. That's why that was like.
Oh, you rebuilt
active.
your board, didn't you?
Oh yeah, I put my board together. I got the HX effects on there, and I put through some of my drives, and so I've got the dually, the woodcutter, and the half horse, along with the HX effects, and then I've still got a Boss PH2 on there. So because I own 2 of them.
No 50/50?
No, the 50/50 is not on there. So like the 50/50 is one of those pedals that I don't use that much. I love it, but I just really, that sound that I get out of it isn't something that I use quite often. So
It's on my like, I guess it's my mini board, but really it's just the board I leave set up at home of like spare pedals. Like it's still a great, it's a single enclosure and you get 2 drives out of it. So you can kind of get those stacking options. But I basically have that in my J-Rocket Archer, and that gives me like enough of like, all right, I can practice, I can build my tones for what I'm going to do this week. You know, I don't have to break out the big board. It gives me enough to practice with. So I still like mine a lot for that.
yeah, I mean, it's not like I don't like it. I just don't use it that much. But I've got a lot of pedals that are sitting in the pile that I really don't have a need for on my board right now. Like my Pelotar is sitting over here, and I've got that Fuzz Roches Tremor Slow, and they're just kind of, I'm getting some shelves built. My father-in-law, he's one of those people that can just build anything if he wants to. So I'm getting some shelves built, kind of like the IKEA shelves. I'm going to put them up on display. I do love collecting pedals.
Yeah, they're cool. I really like when people put them on a shelf like that. I think it makes them look a lot better than like just piling them up in the corner or something, you know?
Yeah, all mine are piled up in a corner. So. So in the pre-ep, we were talking about things that we like annoy ourselves with, and we're like, we all say so way too much. And now we just shattered the glass, and everyone's going to start noticing how much we say it.
I'm looking forward to someone counting how many times we say so in an episode.
We're on our 49th so, and it's only been 6 minutes.
Losing their minds from it, yeah.
We could just like, if someone starts doing that, we'll just make it a game. We'll be like, so. Like, you just see tally marks everywhere. So, Scott, what's new with you? I know you got something new.
Yeah, because I already threw it on the Instagram because I'm annoying like that. I got the Wampler, the Doctor lo-fi delay in. I have not gotten a chance to hook it up because I kind of basically came home and then set up our chat today. So it's just opened the box and took the picture, and I'm looking forward to plugging this in and trying it out tonight. What else did I get? I repaired my headphones. I don't know if that's a relevant thing, but apparently you can buy biodynamic, like just the speaker for your over-ear headphones. And so I was able to replace that and fix those up. As Diaz correctly predicted, I did wind up picking up the Rolly light pad.
Oh, dude, I did not know they sold those in the Apple store.
Yeah, isn't that cool? So we kind of messed up. The Rolly light pad and the controller have been out on the market for like a year now. But it's this new package that they're putting together where it's like $300 and everything was together, and it came with all those add-ins. That was what was new.
You could have just like stuck with it, and no one would have known.
Yeah. Well, the fun part is, I was able to buy the controller and the pad without all the built-in, like that 6-month subscription or whatever for $150 all in, off Reverb. The only problem was the dude I bought one of the parts from Reverb from took a week and a half to ship the dang thing until I like prodded him to, hey, are you going to ship this? What's going on? And so if you hear a thump during the recording of this, that might be my mail being delivered. It's supposed to come today. But I've been playing with the light pad itself, with the iPhone app. It's a lot of fun. I think this thing's I'm going to keep this around. I like it.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to mess them with the guys at the Apple Store. I have to go back tomorrow to pick up a phone. I think I was just going to be like, hey, can I play with one of those really quick, please?
I'm sure they'd be happy to show you how that works.
The guy that helped me was actually a local musician, and he was pretty cool. He was a bass player, and he was like, it was pretty neat because I asked him, I was like, so what do you play? He's like, I was like, what style do you play? He's like, whatever pays the bills. I was like, my man, dude, right there. That's the right answer.
That is the right answer.
He said, whatever pays the bills.
So, the last thing I got was I got a package from Fox Cairo last week. I think I did a picture on...
Yeah, you did it on the Instagram.
Our Instagram. This is a new group, and they're doing custom topper for Ernie Ball volume pedals, Dunlop volume pedals, you name it. But what's different about them is it's not like this wood carving kind of top thing that goes up and on top of it. It's literally a clear grip tape and vinyl underlay. So it's able to feel like a stock pedal still, and you just replace the grip tape with that. So it comes in really affordable. I think custom options.
It's like $40.
Yeah, it's not expensive, and that includes like your art and everything like that. So
did you upload the art, or like how did that work?
So I was really fortunate that Andrew over there actually helped me make it.
Oh, that's cool.
So that is a custom image for me. But I think that image is going to be available to everybody. So I really like it. And what's also cool is it glows in the dark.
So when you played on Sunday, how was it? Did it react pretty well to glow in the dark?
So I was never really in the dark on Sunday, ever looking at the pedal. We have these backlit LEDs behind me usually. So while it seems like I'm in the shadows in our live stream, I'm not really sitting in the dark. I can see quite well. But it helps it it makes it a little more visible, which is a nice little touch. So Diaz, you should like recreate with them your I got this totally lost with like proper graphics.
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I was gonna reach out to him, but right now my gear spinning is kind of on hiatus. But we'll see. You know, I've talked about doing that with John over at Creation, and you know that would be a cool one too. So we'll see.
So easy install. I just used a hairdryer to loosen up the glue, and then it just peeled right off. So check them out. Fox Cairo, I believe, is the name. So that wraps up everything that's new. So let's get into gear news for this week. And the first thing on the list is the Keeley Verbotrem. Diaz, why don't you introduce this?
Yeah, so Keeley has the Verbotrem. So we were talking about it, and it's just kind of Verb and Trim get thrown together so much. But this is pretty cool because they didn't just put out a single enclosure pedal. They also put out a workstation. And I guess this is a signature for session player Eddie Heinzelman, who I have no clue who that is.
You don't know Eddie?
No, I don't know Eddie.
Oh.
Do you know Eddie?
He is a country artist.
Yeah? Tell us more. Is your Wikipedia taking a while to load?
Yeah. Famous songs include "I Don't Mind the Rain." He had
I
a
don't mind
Rig
the rain either.
Rundown. That was on his own channel. Lame.
Dude, you just called the guy lame.
No, Rig Rundown is a Premier Guitar thing, man. Like,
I've done rig rundowns. I'm gonna start doing them just to mess with you.
All right. As long as you refer to yourself as Rebecca Dirks the entire time.
Or just say "we" the entire time, if you know what I mean.
Oh, yes. Yeah, we do this. We do great. Yeah.
I should find my video I did of that.
Who was it who did the rig rundown? I think at one point we were trying to do rig rundowns in like under a minute.
Oh, yeah. And like the guy's like just yelling out gibberish where he's like, this makes robot noises. This makes everything louder. This makes the world explode. Let's run to the amp room. And then like sprints across the room.
Robert Keeley made this for me. It's a custom color. He personally handed it to me. We could do one of those.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry, if you understand that joke, you'll really appreciate it. If you don't, you're gonna be like, what the hell is he talking about? But so on the workstation is really pretty cool because it's got a lot of their different reverbs. You've got a 2-spring, a 3-spring, a plate, a hall, chamber, room, a fugue reverb, which maybe is what's, I don't know.
A fugue is a song that you sing in the round. So
I don't think that's what it is. I think a fugue is. I love how you just say okay. Like Diaz is just gonna make up his own. Is it really a song you sing around as a fugue?
Yes.
Well, fugue that, and then you got a slapback reverb, and then the different modulations that they've got on there also is so you got a sine wave trim, a square wave trim, a harmonic trim, dynamic trim, a pitch vibrato, a ramp tremolo, a rotary, and a univibe. So you've got a lot in there. And it's got a tap on it as well, which is always good. But the regular Verbo trim is a single pedal enclosure, and it's got a harmonic, reverb and tremolo, and then a Mac. I don't know what Mac is in the middle.
It's probably a computer.
Maybe. We'll see. My dog is barking in the back. I hate my dog sometimes. So it's $149. They're calling it the compact, and $299 for the workstation. So that's pretty cool. I think that'd be really neat if they started doing compacts and workstations, because a lot of their workstations are pretty awesome. And if they could do a compact, like imagine if they did a compact of the, they got the Loomer, and they've got the Pink Floyd one. If they did the Pink Floyd one in a compact, like you just clicked it on and you've just got automatic like fuzz and delay going, that'd be awesome.
That would be cool. Yeah, it's like the Verbo Trem reminds me of Mr. Black had one. Was it the Deluxe Plus?
Maybe. I don't follow Mr. Black as much as I probably should.
I mean, I think part of it's just because I'm not in the Pacific Northwest. I'm not as exposed to their stuff. It's like only online that I see their stuff. I don't run into anybody that uses it locally.
Don't Google Mr. Black exposes himself, because you will be very confused.
Have you done this before?
That's why his computer's not working well today.
That's why. That's why I'm having lag issues. It says, "Gosh darn computer viruses! Those internet transmitted diseases."
Yeah. So that's where I think that kind of sits. Whereas the workstation, is it worth comparing to a Strymon Flint at that point? No.
I wouldn't say so. Oh, maybe.
The actual workstation, like itself, like the full-size one?
Yeah. Feature-wise, I mean, that's pretty close, isn't it?
Yeah, I wonder how...
Except like the tap tempo is like built in, though. That'd be the only thing. Because the Flint, I believe, has a tap input for the tremolo, if I remember right.
I think it's got a fave input.
That might be it. It's one of the two.
And if you send it to Daniel Shields, then you can have it modified to do whatever the heck you want. But
I need this pedal to take over the world, if you don't mind, Daniel. You're like, all right, give me 3 weeks. But yeah, that looks pretty. It looks pretty good.
Yeah. So they come in at 150 for the compact and about 300 for the workstation, which is pretty consistent with most of Keeley's pricing. And are they available already? Mid-November.
No, November 15th.
Yeah. So definitely worth checking out. Speaking of things that aren't available immediately, but you should jump on. Adventure Audio has released the Demogorgon.
The V3.
V3.
Yeah.
So what are you guys' thoughts on this?
Well, I believe Blake made a post, Blake Weiland from the Tone Mob, and talked about, I think this has some upgrades. I haven't really been able to research it much.
Yeah.
I've been busy on vacation, not doing anything, so...
Hey, those memes are not going to post themselves, Diaz.
Amen, brother.
So the quotes are, this was modified to make it a much more usable effect.
I don't want a usable effect. Dude, that was like the cool thing about the Demogorgon. I didn't want a usable effect. I wanted this thing to freaking freak out.
Isn't it amazing how often a fuzz and a tremolo being combined together just keep making these like crazy cool pedals?
Yeah.
I mean,
sorry, that was
Diaz is yawning because he's so bored by this discussion topic.
Hey, I'm not bored.
Cool? No.
Gosh, I could have blamed it on a dog if you would have just let me instead of calling me out. Let's see, the pre-order's live for 2 weeks. So,
Oh, wasn't that a difference too? Is that it was like...
oh yeah, the other one was
pre-orders
limited
versus
run.
limited
This is
run?
pre-order, yeah. So pretty much anyone can get one. It's going for 2 weeks starting the 26th, which was a few days ago. 5 days ago, if you're listening on the release date. Good morning,
Good
Michael
math.
Newman.
Good math on the fly there, Diaz.
Yeah, I didn't even have to take my shoes off because I'm wearing flip-flops. So.
Wait, how do you count above 20 with your shoes off?
Okay, so there might be... You guys didn't see me walk around with no shoes, but I've got 28 toes.
Gross.
Well, it really helps out in the month of February.
Except for that once every 4 years, you just get...
I'm like, it's like, what year is it? Screw this crap. I'm not...
So, let's get back
gosh.
to the pedal.
We can't record on Mondays anymore. This isn't working, Scott.
That's just because you're in vacation mode.
I am. I haven't done
using your
crap.
Keeley pepper grinder too much.
Mm.
Anyway, so the Demogorgon originally is a fuzz, reverb, tremolo, all in one, and gets pretty far out there. It was kind of running in the extremes. The new demos sound very cool, very usable. Man, we're just losing Diaz left and right here, man.
What? I was breathing heavy. I was really excited.
Gasping.
I'm not cutting this audio out.
I don't care.
Oh, so you're editing? Sweet.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what you get. That's what you get for being a smartass. You just volunteered yourself for editing. That's why I shut up when that conversation comes up. That's why I go to sleep then. I yawn enough.
Yeah. So, do you guys think by doing a running pre-order versus there's going to be a fixed amount, do you think that helps cut down on all the guys who will like, oh, I'm buying one just to flip it because I know immediately I'll get money out of it?
I don't know.
I'd say yes and no, because I mean you're gonna have some people that like just can't like afford it like at that moment, like during pre-order, and they still might want to like pick one up, but you're still gonna have the person that does flip it for extra $100 just because they missed the pre-order, you know.
So here's my question. All right, hold on. I actually need to look it up. So, one of the things is, they've done before where it's like you pay up front part of it and pay the rest whenever it's shipped.
Yeah, this is
doing that
100% up front.
Oh, yeah. No, there's still gonna be someone who's gonna flip it. I don't know, man. There's the world of flipping is getting just crazy right now because it seems like everyone's onto it.
Yeah, I mean, there's the whole DRV, everyone trying to flip theirs now there.
Yeah, you got the DRV flip. That's like I had a guy who, I don't know if maybe it was just this one guy, but I had a guy, I had my Keeley Compressor Plus, my pitched out or my blacked out one up for sale. And I started at 140, which is about $20 over new, and I went down to 130. I think they're 130 new, something like that, 120. And for the regular ones. And I had a guy like message me, he's like, they're 120 new or 130 new on Sweetwater, and I'm like, yeah, like, no, this is a limited edition. They didn't, they just made them for a short time. And he's just like, yeah, but they're still new this price. And I'm just like,
so go buy a new one.
Exactly. That's all. I was just like, all right, so go buy a new one. That's fine. But I don't know.
I mean, so like Walrus is like notorious for special artwork runs.
Yeah.
They'll do like 70 different versions of like the Julia. And you watch those shoot up in value at first, and I think that's coming back down to reality now, where I don't think special edition pedals are as special as they used to be.
No, I don't think they are.
But the other one, it's just the Compressor Plus was an interesting one because Keeley said he was going to raise the price on them after release.
Well, the price that's listed always on their website is like $179.99.
Yeah,
stock price,
and they were like,
but
we're
it's
going to
always on sale for $129.
And they said that it was going to be a limited time, and eventually they were going to bump it back up. But that pedal's been on the market for 2 years now, hasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
So, I don't know.
I don't know. Whatever. Robert Keeley.
He's sold
messing up my flip game.
He sold a ton of that pedal, though. So, I think that's part of it too. Is that market got flooded pretty quick because they just made so many.
Yeah, he's like, oh no. We were gonna do it just for one day. Now we're doing it for like a month. I was like, bruh, you're killing me. All right, let's get moving because we've been...
I'm going to skip this next one because you can't buy them in America. And jumping into the Vega Trem. This is interesting.
Is it for vegetarians only?
Yeah, only for vegans.
All right, bye.
So this is a play on the Strat Tremolo. Stumbled upon this actually from a sponsored ad, so I guess they do work. This is a play on the Fender Strat Tremolo where it creates it's supposed to be a retrofit for the six screw trems, because the more modern ones, the 2-screw trems, have an easier time pivoting.
Yeah, I love the 2-screw trems.
I've honestly never really played one.
I had one on my American Deluxe Strat, and I liked it.
Yeah, it's also interesting how like the 6-screw just won't die. Like how you'll see guitars go to the 2-screw and then they'll go back to the vintage 6-screw. I think all three of my Strats have 6-screw trems.
Made in Spain. What the heck? No, I'm not doing it.
Just because it's Spanish?
Yeah. My last name is from Spain.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going back.
Can't be trusted.
Can't be trusted. Listen, if they're anything like me, you don't want one. No, I'm just kidding.
So it's cool as well as where it's pivot, it doesn't pivot on the screws anymore. It actually has a plate and kind of a hinge built into it. And so it actually they were showing demos of this thing, like doing like Floyd Rose ranges of movement, without needing to do the whole locking mechanism junk. So that seems like to me quite the improvement.
Well, the only concern I'd have with that is whenever you're doing a lot of the Floyd Rose crazy stuff, the locking nut up top really helps maintain tuning.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one thing I would be worried about. If you're going to be doing that much movement with your tremolo, you've got to replace your nut. You got to get something like Graphtec, or just something.
Oh, like a lubricated nut, just so it's moving easier.
Yeah, self-lubricated nut.
Yeah,
because that would be one of my concerns. But
locking tuners gets rid of all the wrapping slack.
It gets rid of that, and it gets rid of the friction, like the movement and getting caught up in the binding that happens in the nut. So because that's where a lot of people, there's a lot of complaints with the Fender tremolo system the synchronized tremolo system. But what's happening is a lot of times people don't realize you're binding up at the nut, and whenever you're jump tuning, that's because of binding in the nut. And a lot of fenders will get a lot better tuning stability just by switching out the nut for something like a Graphtec, a self-lubricated nut. That, you know, and that's a big problem with like Gibsons. People don't realize the tuning issues mostly comes from the brake angle at the nut. And like my SG, that's what causes most of my tuning problems. And then there's things like the string butler that helps fix that. But Fender's thing is a lot of the nut that comes on a standard Fender is usually crap.
Yeah, you'd be amazed how much just bring it to your local luthier and they will just polish up the nut and just fix some of the sanding on it, and it will clean up a lot of the binding issues.
Yeah, because there's the spurs happen in there.
Yeah.
And they happen down at your saddles as well sometimes.
Oh, yeah. And then the other thing to do is when you're changing your strings, just get a mechanical pencil and fill in the slot.
Just make sure it's a graphite based.
Do they make lead pencils anymore?
I don't know. But don't use a colored pencil. We were debating that at church yesterday.
Are colored pencils not graphite?
I don't know, but I wasn't risking it. It wasn't my guitar. I was changing the strings on the acoustic, and I went and I was tuning it, and it popped. And then he like jumped up. He goes, "Yeah, it does that." I'm like, "Well, it's not supposed to." Like, I kind of felt like I couldn't stop myself. I was like, "It's not supposed to do that." And I was looking for a pencil really quick, and I couldn't find one. I told him, when you get home, loosen up the strings, get a pencil, just rub the pencil in there and get it lubed up pretty well.
Huh.
Yeah, they've also got like what is it called? Nut sauce.
Oh yeah, I've seen that, where it's basically graphite in like a liquid resin. It's basically so did you guys do like Pinewood Derby cars as a kid?
Yes, I love Pinewood Derby cars. I was raised Assemblies of God, so we had the Royal Rangers and the Pinewood Derby every year.
Yeah, so we did it in Cub Scouts, and I had this like spray in graphite stuff that you put on the wheel axle, so the wheels would go a little faster.
All right, I'm making a lot of noise because my mic fell.
Yeah,
sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're getting all $8 worth out of that new mic stand.
Listen, all right. So if anyone complains if something happens with my audio this week, where I'm trying to actually record into the computer instead of recording into the Zoom portable, so it's growing pains, guys.
So to wrap up the Vega Trem, they are currently on sale for €228, which will be a bit more in dollars. That's like Mastery Bridge territory of prices.
Yeah, that's one thing I've always kind of gotten annoyed with is how come these guitar manufacturers can't just fix things out of the gate. That's like anytime someone buys a Gretsch, the first thing they want to do, or like a Jazz Master, they're like, gotta get a Mastery. First thing, it's like, I don't want to spend $1,500 on a guitar knowing I have to spend $300 more.
Yeah.
I mean, who's going to buy the stock bridge? Not a whole lot of people. You might find the one guy who's like restoring a guitar or something like that, but it's not, a great selling point.
This is one of those perks of a lot of the boutique builders that were building offset tremolo guitars. We're all going Mastery right off the bat, bridge. And like almost at very competitive prices. That was definitely one of the perks there. But I can also say the vintage Jazzmaster Trem without modification on a set of 10s is completely garbage. So the Mastery Bridge made that guitar for me. So
let's move on. Do you want to talk about this next thing?
I want to tease it a little bit, yeah. So TC Electronic has just announced the BC208 bass cab. So it's a 2x8 inch portable bass cab, 200 watts capable. And their main feature that every press release I can find on this is, you can run it vertically or horizontally. It's a bass cap. Like, I just keep laughing that's the only feature that they can really
Right.
show off.
So you're telling me you can run this thing vertically, but if you don't want to, you can run it horizontally as well.
Yes. Pre-orders on Sweetwater now.
Okay. What if you don't want to run it vertically?
Then you can run it horizontally.
Okay, but what if I don't want to run it
I don't want
horizontally?
to do either one of those.
Then you can stack them. Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to get a little bit sciencey on everybody.
All right, let's get some science. I was already yawning earlier.
Yeah.
Let's finish it up.
Low frequency sound, when derived from a small speaker, i.e., 8-inch speaker, compared to the wavelength of sound that you're dealing with. When that ratio gets out of control, it basically becomes an omnidirectional speaker. That's why most subwoofers are omnidirectional.
Okay.
You get directionality with high frequency with large drivers. So that's why with your like 12-inch speaker off of your off of like guitar tone, you know, like if you go like center of the cone versus just slightly off it and things like that, you get those weird shrilly spots, and then it warms up and then it gets shrilly again. You know how that happens when you move the mic around? Doesn't happen with low frequency.
Okay. So what you're telling me is you can run this thing vertically or horizontally.
Yes,
And
or
it doesn't
both at
matter.
the same time. Buy 4 of them and make a stack.
Okay. Here's my thing though. Have you seen the picture of the guy sitting spread eagle right on top of one?
Oh gosh, I just did.
No, it's on their website. Like the guy's just sitting there, legs open, bass in between, right on top of this sub or this bass cabinet. Like, like what's going on in this picture? What is TC Electronic doing?
Do you see the picture where they stack 2 vertically and then do their little mini head on top of it, and it just looks so out of place?
Look! Did you see the one where they've got 1 vertically and 2 horizontally? They're changing the game.
And they don't line up. There's still a lip, and my OCD is just like getting triggered.
Yeah, what would have been an extra like inch widthwise?
I don't know.
$2.
Anyway, yeah. Anyway, so ultra portable. Go check it out if you're looking for something that is easy to move. To play bass
Or
with.
something that you want to stack vertically or horizontally.
Or sit spread eagle on.
Yes, because
It's
all right, I'm going to shatter your guys' brains for just a second. Every 2x12 cab can be stacked horizontally or vertically.
No,
Yeah,
I
but can you
refuse to believe that.
but can you sit spread eagle on it?
Yes.
And just have the time of your life.
This is literally every 2-speaker cab that is in existence on the market. You can do this with.
I mean, I thought I was just crazy whenever I had my 2x12 and I was changing if I was putting it vertically or horizontally.
All right, Diaz, one more time, just so we beat this joke into the ground.
Okay, hold on 1 second.
Music
the main
stands are not. Oh wait.
Okay, the main thing is on this whole product right here is you can run it 2 ways. Vertically, or if you really want to go crazy, horizontally.
Those are the only 2 ways.
So if if you want to get squirrely with it, you could stack 1 vertically and 1 horizontally and just go nuts.
All right, if anyone is still listening, the Leap Pick Kickstarter is wrapping up this week. I shared this in the main group just because since we're releasing on a Wednesday, and I think the Kickstarter ends on a Wednesday too, if people actually want this, they can jump on it. It is quoted as the most comfortable guitar pick you'll ever hold. Chris, what are you seeing? What do you think?
The biggest thing that like stood out to me as like, why would I do this? Because I would have a hard time like picking up my pick and being able to just use it, is the fact that it has like 3 different gauges.
So can you play this pick vertically or horizontally?
It's preferred horizontally. Vertically can present a challenge.
All
You're
right,
not getting
all
much
right.
pick to string contact.
Is this going to be like your new joke? Every product that comes out.
Oh yeah. We should have done this cab first.
All right. So yeah, there's two options. There's the rhythm and the lead player options.
Which is also weird.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna say something. I'm gonna kind of just go against the grain here, and I don't hate this. I do feel it's very gimmicky, but I would, before I knocked it, it would definitely have to be a product that I have to have in my hand and try out, because it does seem pretty cool, but I don't know ergonomically if it would be preferred. I feel like,
have you tried a triangle pick before?
What?
Have you tried a
hated
triangle
them.
pick before? Like the bluegrass picks? Have you tried one of those?
Are you are you talking about like just a regular guitar pick that's in the shape of a triangle?
Yeah, the big.
Are you talking about
the big triangle ones that bluegrass players like?
I've played, yeah.
Okay.
I've played them before.
Do you like that? Like, is that a good size for you, or you normally play a jazz size, right?
I usually play a jazz size, but the thing is with the different ends on this, I mostly, whenever it comes to the way it plays, the big thing is how it sounds. So like I've been playing, and I've been trying to find a pick that sounds the way I like it. And that's one thing that would be interesting to this, is to see how it sounds. But
did they show what material this is?
The big thing is that it just, having 3 different picks on there at all times would be kind of cool, because you could like ninja that thing and change it to a different one if you were feeling that.
Yeah, I was joking around with before we started, of, is there a way that I could like just make one of these where I could put whatever type of pick I wanted into it? Like some type of like clip with like rubber in there that would like hold all the things, and then you could do that, spin it, and then you can get a different size. I don't know if there'd really be a market for that, and if it's
Listen,
worthwhile.
if we could do this kind of and make it like the new guitar player fidget spinner, that would be the bomb.
Oh yeah, let's put a ball bearing in there. So
Let's do it.
The whole
Hold
thing
on,
spins.
hold on.
Totally.
We call dibs. This is going to be released.
Patent pending.
Yeah.
Patent pending.
We'll mail it to ourselves.
Yeah, that's exactly what we have to do.
I'm going to email
Gotta
this
mail it to
episode
ourselves.
already. So, I mean, yeah, it's already copyrighted, guys.
Yeah, this is, if you're listening to this, just mute it for the next 5 minutes while we come up with a really good business plan. And you'll see us on Shark Tank next season.
So, I will definitely give them the, there's a grip built into it, and I think grips on picks are nice. Diaz teases me that I use way too thick of a guitar pick already. But
Yeah, what are you, like on 3s?
I do have a set of 3mm picks, yes.
Yeah. I'm an 88. I'm a .88 guy.
I'm normally 1.5.
Jesus, take the wheel.
Chris, how thick of a pick do you usually use?
88,
Okay.
Yeah.
which is
Take
one
that.
of
Fine.
the sizes they offer.
But
Well, they've got the. I think I would like to try the 73, 96, and 1.5. The lead. I mean, and it's not a horrible price. I mean, $14 for a pack of 2. That's, if you don't lose them, that's 6 different pick sizes. It's not horrible.
I mean, for a Kickstarter, it's not bad. I mean, this is like, I think this is a gimmick you buy once and then you move on. But the other part I was going to say was, since it has texturing on it, that makes it easier to hold.
Yeah.
I do appreciate, I can't use a pick without like a texture on it. So like when they are just like a smooth pick with writing on it, I have a hard time keeping a grip on them. I need the bumps, or I need something on them to kind of get a groove into my finger on it on. So, I mean, there's some good ideas here. This is version 1 of an idea, and the cost needs to come down, and I think the implementation needs to be refined a little bit.
This is totally going to be on that shelf in Guitar Center.
Oh, if they didn't do a Kickstarter and they just sold this through like the accessories desk, this is like the Christmas present for every kid from their family.
I'd be happy if I got one of these for Christmas.
But like this would be this year's jellyfish pick. Remember that thing?
Oh yeah, it was like the 16 little metal pieces or something like that.
Yeah.
What was we were talking about that? What, the hot hand, the jellyfish, all the ads in Guitar World magazine.
Yeah, this is like straight out of that era. I mean, at the same time, I feel like I've seen this before. Right? Like
No, that was the Karate Kid.
oh, okay.
Or what was it? Three Ninjas.
Three Ninjas.
Yeah. That was a good movie.
Is that on
Should talk
Netflix
about
right
that.
now? Episode 50's coming up, so like I mean, like we could do a
Let's
thing.
watch the Three Ninjas and talk about Guitar Gear during it.
All right.
Rocky loves Emily.
All right. Well, let's move on to our topic. This
Yeah, our
episode
topic this week is, if you were one of the Three Ninjas, which one would you be? I would totally be Rocky.
I think you're more of a tum-tum, but that's just me.
That's probably true.
Anyway, our topic this week, because today our release date is October 31st. Is
Happy Halloween, y'all.
Happy Reformation Day to those who celebrate as well.
I thought that was the first.
Isn't that the first when? Isn't that when what Martin Luther or whatever his name was nailed all the stuff?
It's the same week, guys. Chill out.
Hey, listen, you're gonna tick off a bunch of people. All those Reformed people.
But you were not saying any names.
Sorry, Cody Fields. Hey, the dude has a podcast.
Oh, this is true. I forgot about that. That is a podcast.
It's not a secret. His entire pedal line is dedicated to people who are about the Reformation and all that.
Man,
Come on.
I should have doubled down. It is actually October 31st is Reformation Day.
They're all wrong.
Well, happy Reformation Day, Cody.
So this is going to be our 95 theses against Gibson guitars. No.
Well, the idea came up with... The idea was kind of like... We all have like that jolt us from sleep nightmare that happens. And then Scott was like, I don't have that nightmare.
Oh, I have that nightmare. It's just not about... Anyway.
Oh, I'm going to steal your Titan. There,
all right.
There's your nightmare. You're going to wake up and I'm going to be in your house. That's a nightmare within itself right there.
Oh, God, I'm never sleeping again.
But, man,
Let's just say Diaz is the only host on the show that has not been allowed in my house yet.
That is 100% true.
Yeah, it is.
Wow. Screw you.
Come to Chicago. We'll see what happens.
I'm like there. He's like, no, Buster. You can go, the shelter's down the road. You can go sleep there.
Yeah, there's a YMCA down the street. Go there.
Yeah.
Anyway, after 5 minutes of introduction to our topic, what is our scariest guitar stories? And Diaz, you were introducing yours.
So I always have all right. I actually had gear stolen from me. I was young, stupid, and I kept gear out in a vehicle after a gig. And so my vehicle was broken into. I had a PRS Custom 2410 top stolen.
Oh, wow.
That's such a nice guitar.
And the hardest part about that was I was still making payments on it after it got stolen.
Oh.
So there's salt in the wound every month. But I had that, and at the time I was playing actually it wasn't even mine, it was our bass player's Fender Cyber Twin, and that got stolen too. But luckily he was a cool guy and didn't make me like replace it or anything.
In the end, it was probably better for him that he doesn't have a Cyber Twin anymore.
Yeah, actually wasn't a horrible amp. It wasn't great. The worst thing about that amp was there was latency between switching channels.
Oh, it had like robotic knobs. Remember that?
That was actually really cool. That was like the most gimmicky thing ever, but it was actually pretty cool. You could sit there, you'd change the channel, and the knobs would turn.
What if I told you we could make a guitar where the tuners did that?
I would say that you're out of your damn mind, that'll never happen.
I think that makes me CEO
and if any
material.
company does it, they'll be billionaires and never have to file for bankruptcy.
So is that's like your biggest nightmare, that you left something in the car and it's gone now?
Yeah, like having gear stolen again, that's probably one of like my biggest freak out like I wake up and I'm like, oh no, I brought my gear inside. I'm good.
I think mine is just like, there's a little prayer I say every time I'm firing up my amp after moving it. I'm like, please work. Like, I'm always just afraid that like all these horror stories about like guitar tubes failing on you, like it was going to suddenly happen to me. Like I've only had one tube die ever, and it was a easy one to fix. But like for the go ahead.
Usually if you have one tube die too, as long as it's not a power tube and it's just a preamp tube, usually you can kind of like limp through a set.
Yeah. And that's kind of what I did. It was a preamp tube, so I just stole it from the other preamp channel and just kept going.
See, with the Kemper, there's always the fear of having a error happen in the middle of the gig. So
Computers.
gosh darn them dang old computer on internet man on click. That's a direct quote from King of the Hill. That's my favorite Boomhauer moment in King of the Hill. Whenever he says you're going dang on internet, man, they're on naked going click.
So accurate. So accurate. Chris, do you have any horror stories about guitar stuff going on here?
Marissa gets mad and burns all his guitar gear.
Too real.
Yeah. That'd be a little devastating, especially since like one of them's in her name that we're getting on.
You're like, it's yours too, you moron. No, I'm just kidding. Marissa, don't listen to this episode. Please don't listen to this episode.
Shoot. I think one of the biggest things that like has happened like IRL has been I got rear-ended a few years ago. And like I think it was on like a Thursday, so I still had my stuff in from like Wednesday night because I was just way too tired to bring everything in. And like my vintage Bassman was still in the back, like in the trunk. So I had to like take that in to like make sure everything was okay. And I was like flipping out, like, okay, it was like, am I gonna have to get a full set of tubes replaced? Am I gonna have to, get internals fixed? So that was like probably the biggest nightmare like scenario I've had.
What was it? Like the fuse blew?
I don't think anything was actually like wrong with it. That may have been the time I got the caps replaced, but I think that was like an unrelated issue.
Yeah, I always get nervous whenever I think Scott kind of hit it too. I've got one. Here's a nightmare. You wire up your entire board. You can't figure out where there's a misfire.
Oh,
there's something going on.
I hate doing that too when like you've actually placed everything down and you get it like tight in there together, and then you're like, oh, now I've got to pull it up one by one.
I don't do pedal boards that close that much anymore, mostly because I always want to make sure there's enough room where I can slide a right angle cable in really quick, and I can work at the end and back my way up to figure out where the bad connection is. But I do love anytime you have a problem and it's something really stupid. I did it at Sunday. I couldn't figure out how come I was getting no sound, and then I realized my guitar wasn't plugged in. Luckily it wasn't like anything longer than like 15 seconds, but I did that Sunday. I plugged everything in and I just wired up my board the night before. I was like, all right, let's get this thing going. Let's go. And then bam, nothing. I was like, I just put my head down. And then when I put my head down, I looked and I saw my cable wasn't plugged in. I was just like, oh, thank heavens. That's all it was.
Yeah. Ever since I've been using an SGI box and my amp off in a back closet lately. And so whenever that first time I fire up and I get no sound, I'm so angry because it's like, oh, now I got to take my in-ears off again. Now I got to haul ass all the way over here and fix it and come back. And like that back and forth drives me insane.
This is why you just have wireless everything.
I don't want to wireless my pedal board to an amp closet though.
Well, not that, just guitar to board and then...
Man, I sold my wireless and that makes me sad. Don't talk about it, guys.
You should. I mean, now
get
you
a
have the
boss.
opportunity to pick up that boss one. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
I
actually
do.
really tempted to get rid of my line 6 one because it's annoying as hell to actually have to have a third power outlet available because it's USB powered and not something off of like a regular pedal power.
Why don't you? Ooh, you
could
should just
run
get a bright switch. Get a bright switch.
I don't think it puts out enough because
Amperage.
Bright switch can put out. I think
it's like 2 point something. And
If it's charging an iPad,
Yeah.
it's strong enough to run your wireless.
It all depends on what power you're sending into it.
Mm.
Because I think it draws kind of whatever is available.
Yeah, it's also going to depend on like the milliamp too.
Yeah, the milliamp's the more important part. Because the other part is USB is 5 volts. Everything that you're running off your power supply is 9. So you can step 9 down to 5 pretty easily. There are adapters out there in the world
No,
that you could
the
do
bright
that with.
switch does that.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, let's just do that. Get a bright switch.
It
And then you
also
could,
makes like a 9-volt DC to USB adapter.
Yeah, there you go. That's exactly
There-
what you want.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
As
if
long
it,
as the
like,
amperage is enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it like steps down though. That
What? How many? What does it require for power besides the USB? Does it say what ampage?
I feel like it's like 5 amps. I might be wrong.
Oh, geez.
So
5 amps?
No, there's no way.
There's no
I
way it
know.
needs 25 watts.
Hang on.
No.
Let me go grab it.
Yeah. No, that's great. We're not recording an episode or anything, Chris. All right, so I'm gonna take this time to fulfill
I'm
some
gonna Google
obligation.
it right now.
I'm gonna
and
do.
see-
Let's see, Lee Greenwood. I had to mention Lee Greenwood. So God bless the USA. I think I said Canada earlier. We already said Justin True Daddy.
Do you have a
You already said
G6
Squirrel.
or a G10?
No, I have the little mini like bug one. Okay, so maybe I was like totally off. Its input only needs like 0.2 amps and output is
Caramel.
5 volt
Yeah.
at 1 amp.
Listen,
So yeah, I could definitely run that off a bright switch, I think.
Yeah, I think you could. And then they'll like every Instagram post you tag them in.
I really do. So when we went to Summer NAMM, I don't know. I want to try those Boss wirelesses. The only problem is we had a bad experience with them, and it was 100% due to the fact that we're in a giant convention. There's so much Wi-Fi going on. You're gonna get some sort of interference.
No, the problem was Boss was interfering with itself. The Boss can run on up to 7 channels, and they had 11 units on their show floor. So they were actually interfering with themselves, and they didn't want to shut down their whole booth to do that experiment with us.
Why didn't anyone tell me that? Because I
That's
kind of wanted the
exactly
Boss
what
thing.
Matt Knight told us.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, that's what.
No, I think he was.
That's what he told
Slept
me.
and drank since
Well,
then.
he might have been. Yeah, no. He probably told you that, but he didn't. I didn't hear that. I just knew that we were at one point we were having interference, and we thought it was because of all the Wi-Fi.
Yeah, that's basically what happened. Was once another one of the guitars was closer, that one took over, and so you only had the range of basically how big the booth was. That's why we were only able to get like 5 feet of range out of it.
Well, you should get in contact with Matt Knight, and I could do like a video, like running away and like all that fun stuff.
Yeah, I need to follow up with him.
Yeah, see what's up. I need a wireless again. You need a wireless.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah, get you a wireless.
I don't know. There's not really room on my board for a wireless right now.
Put it underneath.
Get the little double like bug size one.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could do that. I'd want the bass. I like the bass on having that on the board.
I like that. It's just like a normal Boss size pedal.
Oh yeah, I used to have my.
Now, if it was a tuner, if it was a TU2 plus all that,
Ooh.
See, that's where the Line 6 G70 rocked because it
Yeah.
had the tuner in it. But because
that'll
I've
be
got
the
the
Wazacraft edition. Will be the tuner and the wireless together.
that would be legit. But with the HX effects, I've got the tuner in that, and they just actually released an update and gave a strobe tuner and all this other crazy stuff I've got to do.
Strobe tuner's the way to go.
I like the strobe tuner. So on the Kemper I use the bubble tuner though. I like the bubble tuner.
Have you gone through your vocab list yet?
Yeah.
Okay. I was curious if Kemper and Helix were still on that one. So
No, Helix never made it.
Oh.
Caramel was a close one.
Did you ever say Canada?
I did say Canada. You were I went through all the words whenever you went to get your wireless when you went to look at it. I
You're a
made
very
sure.
good man of stature.
Yeah, that was another one. But that wasn't in the top 5. I didn't have to say that one.
Well, you know what? We're listening to our viewers, and we're gonna let them.
I actually am the one who
get
put
everybody in there.
I put stature on the list. MIDI. That's another one. All right, MIDI. So.
all right, to wrap up our discussion, the actual
some
actual
scary shit.
I don't know if you guys have irrational fears about guitar, but I have the one with every time I'm putting new strings on the guitar and I'm tuning them up for the first time, I'm like, it's going to snap. Yeah, it's going to snap and hit me in the eye.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
I don't know where that came from, but yeah.
Well, okay, so I'm one of my favorite guitar players does alternate tunings, and that's Johnny Resnick from Goo Goo Dolls. He does a lot of really weird alternate tunings. That's like tuning your B all the way up to an E. Like it's just, and that gets me every time. My thing is I always have it's a rational fear that I'm always going to break a string. So every time I go play a gig or I play at church or anything, I always have a minimum of 2 guitars with me because
I do that too.
But this past Sunday, I only brought 1 guitar.
Did you?
And
break
I
a
knew
string?
it was gonna. Didn't break a string, but I had a feeling. I was like, this is gonna be the week. The one time I didn't bring my Firebird as a backup, it's gonna happen.
Yeah, and you have separate cases for your guitars too, so that's a lot to haul.
Yeah, I really need to look into a dual guitar mono case.
The
Or
stereo
whatever that
mono
other
case.
company is.
Yeah,
I have the Gator one too. I'd probably sell you that.
Really?
Yeah, if shipping wasn't so crazy on that. We'll have to figure out a time when we're meeting
Is it a
up.
hard case or is it a soft case?
It's a dual gig bag. Really well
Is it-
padded.
I wonder, you could probably roll that thing up pretty damn tight. Fit it. You could probably.
It does not fold.
Oh.
It's a strong case. It doesn't really fold.
Huh.
Just go get 7 of the large prepaid
Yeah,
things.
the prepaid envelopes.
No, the prepaid boxes and tape them together.
I don't think it works that way.
Analog Man sure tried to pull that off with you.
No, he gave me a quarter of a prepaid box.
Did he pay full price for it?
I think he did something else.
He marked it as not being one of their boxes or something, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. I had a package returned to me because I used a flat rate box, but I didn't put a flat rate label on it.
Yeah,
and I was like,
they'll do that.
I was like, I'm recycling a box. Do I just need to like put paper on top of this thing? And they're like, we didn't tell you to do that, but yeah, that's basically what you have to do.
Yeah, no, I do that all the time. So a lot of people, if they've gotten packages from me, they have a lot of paper on the outside, and it's usually because I make the boxes blank, and it really just depends on what I'm shipping and everything. So even if it's a regular brown box, sometimes I just put white paper on the outside. I like to make it look like it could be from a terrorist, but it's not.
Too soon.
Oh dang, that is. Oh, never mind. Okay, so I've been on vacation. I haven't paid a whole lot to current events. I take it back.
Yeah, dude. As a Floridian, you can't go around saying things like that, man.
Well, it's not like I'm actually like making threats. I'm saying it's not. I'm doing the opposite.
Plausible deniability.
Yeah, I have no clue what I'm saying anyways. I've slept since then.
Well, thanks for joining us, everybody.
Yeah. If I'm not on next week's episode, you all know why.
You know why.
Hashtag pray for Diaz.
Yeah.
And if the rest of us aren't here, our computers got confiscated. So
check out our Kickstarter for legal fees for everything that Diaz just shared with us.
Yeah.
Go to, if you could, please leave us a review on iTunes. A little bit goes a long way. Those positive reviews make us feel good, make this worth doing for us, and also eventually help us jump in the rankings so random strangers can find this podcast. Follow us on Instagram. I just posted to it about an hour and a half ago. We get some fun stuff up there. Periodically, Diaz finds random memes that I'll admit some of them are actually good.
Some of them are actually good. That's the nicest thing you've said to me all week.
I know.
Scott.
That's how low the bar is, right?
Yeah.
It's like if I shoved you and you're like, oh, you touched me.
That was so close to a hug, you don't even know it.
No, your Owen Wilson and Fozzie Bear one, I enjoyed that.
Wow.
Join our Facebook group, continue our discussion there, talk about any of the gear that we brought up this week, whether you like it, whether you think it's dumb, share your opinions with us. We interact quite heavily with you there, and it's your chance to kind of voice and be part of the show. Follow our YouTube channel. All our episodes are posted there as well, so you can listen while you're at work. Plus, all the gear demos that we do in a very timely fashion are posted there. And then the last thing is, if you see any news, you want to interact with us directly, feel free to reach out to us at theeffectsloop@gmail.com. All right, that's it for this week. Thanks for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Don't say bomb on an airplane.
Oh my gosh.
Ugh, I didn't mean to say that. Like, it came out totally wrong. It really, that came out a lot worse than I thought it was supposed to come out. Yeah. Oh my gosh, my computer. At least everything recorded.
We are strong. We have to just keep pushing along. We are one. So let's come together, show 'em some love. There are many things that this world needs, but the most important one is unity. United we stand, divided we fall. Through the ages this has been the servo song. Yeah. We are strong. We have to just keep pushing along. We are one. So let's come together, show some love. This song is not about race or politics, but the hate that resides in the hearts of men. Desperate times calling desperate measures. So why don't we be desperate to love each other? Yeah.
Let's erase hate from the dictionary. Why is negativity always drawn out? Pictionary, visualize love. Energize lives together. We undefeated. A plan to make where there's no gloves needed. When we weed into the mindset of achieving and believing in community that remains happy. Then the after, the world should be one. Hate annihilated, every heart is one. Love again. So
Don't